Talent Initiative. Welcome to my talk. Sucky job descriptions actually don't matter. So, hear me out. We're going to try to turn this into really a solution gathering exercise. When I say it doesn't matter, does that mean it's not important? You shouldn't think about it. You shouldn't care about it. No, that is not at all what I mean. What I do mean is that I've given this a lot of thought, and I don't think that we can solve this from the perspective of educating and training all the employers to do perfect every time, right? I think that is a much bigger stretch than us learning from a candidate's perspective how to overcome what we're facing. So we're going to begin with who am I? If you don't know already, I'm Kirsten Renner. I am known as K Renner or Renner on Twitter. I am currently the Director of Recruiting at Nevada, soon to be Accenture Federal Services, providing analytics solutions as well as full spectrum cybersecurity products and services across the federal market. I am a college dropout. That ends up being part of the story here, as well as some different avenues that I've taken that I will use as examples throughout my career journey, and how that might apply to any number of you, depending on where you specifically are at this time in your journeys of growing within your career, whether or not you're actively seeking. I have had prior speaking engagements starting at ShmooCon a few years ago, and then DerbyCon, DEF CON, Career Hacking Village last year, and many B-sides throughout the years. So we are, from an agenda perspective, we are going to look at how you, as the candidate, can start with building your own. I almost think of it as like a requirements list. Most of you have an engineering background or aspect to your careers, and you're very familiar, whether it is creating a target list for your customers, for the solutions that you're creating for them and so forth, what it is like when you find blockers in your way that you either were anticipating or not, and how you create solutions, and in this case I call them avenues, roadways, using the metaphorically speaking when I call it a journey, and how effective interviewing also is going to help you specifically getting around some of the challenges that we have regarding job descriptions. So when you first see a job ad, anywhere you see it, whether you see it in various places posted online, the very first thing that this is indicative of, obviously, is, well, hey, this company is hiring, right? Whether or not you feel as though the job post itself is quality or not, and I do have some examples of job descriptions coming up here. Regardless of the quality of the job ad that you see, it is still every single one that you see, the poor ones, the good ones, the confusing ones, they are all at the very least an opportunity for you to do a little bit more exploring regarding that company that is now, to your knowledge, hiring. So you're going to want to find out as much as you can, and I will talk about what the culture looks like there at that company, who else is working there, what are those individuals saying in their social footprints, their professionally and within social media, about their jobs, too, and about their coworkers and their days, and looking at their professional footprints as well to see how have they changed or progressed over time. Are they moving around a lot? Do they have to change companies to make those different moves? Are they growing type of moves? And do these things match up with where you currently are? in your career journey. I did redact the usernames of the individuals that I did not speak to prior to taking just a couple of snapshots of both some negative and positive things that individuals in our community are saying about job descriptions, whether it is, oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you really asking for a GPA? Is that a thing that we ask for? Help me understand why in the world you would put that in your job description for a VP level role, as well as how could you possibly at this career level or this type of position be indicating that this is an entry-level position, right? So you can read this for yourself and wonder exactly what they were trying to say. Makes a lot of sense, right? If you are in a certain career type, then you aren't entry level because you had to have a certain amount of experience to get you to the point where you're doing, in this case, reverse engineering. Alyssa, I did get permission from. She was describing, hey, good job, bravo to this company who actually got it right. So I appreciate that she gave a shout out to someone that it seems like a lot more of a rare occasion, but somebody that actually got it right. So shout out there. I do have two little disclaimers coming up, and they look like this. So I can read your mind, or I've just heard it so many times, you're thinking, hold on a second, aren't there job descriptions that are sometimes written for specific individuals or groups of people? Yes, it's true. I've done it, not at my current employer, but yes, 100%. I've seen it. I've seen it at companies of various sizes. I've seen it at big companies. I've seen it at small companies. I do have an example throughout the years. If I say the product name, I'll be telling you who the people are, so I won't do that. But there was an instance where there was a specific product that only a handful of people worked on the creation of this product. So when the job description was written and when the search started, they specifically wanted preferably one person from the team, but anybody who had been involved in the creation of this product. So this was some years ago. However, one of the funny things to note about this example is that not only did they say you have to have experience creating this product, also this many years of experience using the product. And by the way, when they wrote it, the product hadn't existed for that long. A funny thing, I actually did hire one of those people, but yes, it happens. It is rare. It is incumbent upon the hiring managers and the companies, if they identify, hey, somebody with the ability to create this thing or to do this thing that this one individual or that these types of individuals have done is exactly what I know that we need or that we're looking for. Good on them for knowing that that's what they need. And then the next step is for them to realize that at some point those people or that individual had to learn what they learned. Everybody had to start somewhere. So it is incumbent upon the employer to figure out how did they get there, what types of skills or characteristics are going to build the type of person that I'm looking for. There are certain things, however, that as soon as you see them, they're not funny, run away from them. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these examples. I don't want to give them a ton of attention. These are real job ads that I found that were awful. I did attempt to redact the identifying information from the descriptions, but if they're going to say things that are so disgusting that either if they truly meant it or if they thought it was funny, probably and hopefully not a fit for you, run from these types of situations. Hopefully they're rare. Hopefully they don't happen very often. So we talked about requirements. Figure out what really matters to you. It's not just money. It's a flexible work schedule. It's the commute, the ability to potentially work remote. room and opportunities for you to grow, for you to pivot around and change and go into different areas. I've seen, shout out to my current company, who I have seen individuals literally go from contracts management to executive cyber. Like, it's amazing. It's when you find a company that will give you the opportunity to just to grow into your areas of interest based on your capabilities. That's amazing when you can find it. So do also build lists for yourself that really, just, I mean, literally sit down, put some columns on a piece of paper and figure out the difference between the things that are deal breakers for you and the things that would just be nice to have, and be ranking as you go through your journey and searching and interviewing, figuring out and scoring those things, ranking those things as well, and proceeding from there. So I'm going to take a little bit of time here. I'm not going to go on every single point here. I'm not going to say whose job description this is, but I just split it up between the basic qualifications, so what they're requiring and what they're preferring. And right off the bat, I'm telling you, this should be flip-flopped, right? I get what they were trying to do here. I really do. This is clearly malware dev, RE type position. I could spend a lot of time questioning every single bullet. I actually know who wrote this and I know what they were trying to say, but let's just look at a couple things here. Poly, ooh, that means several different things. Explain what you mean. And by the way, when I ask all these questions, this is what you're doing in your head when you see the job description. So you're going to see the job post, and it should lead you to either within the applicant tracking system, or once the conversation with the recruiter starts, you're going to get a job description. And when you look at it, this is where I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to legitimately think about and record the questions that make sense for you based on what they're saying here that they require. So right off the bat, item number one, I have questions. I have reasonable questions, and you should be able to. A good recruiter will spend the time, every time, either giving you the attention that you need to address your reasonable questions, or go find out. Never should they make it up, but they should go find out for you the answers to your questions. So we'll go through. I'm not gonna, like I said, go through every single one, but let's ask a few more questions. Let's see. You want someone with a bachelor's degree, and 10 years of experience. Cool. I don't have a degree. In fact, remember I told you I don't. My current position, and probably the last few that I've had, require a degree. Apparently I'm qualified, or did a really good job pretending that I'm qualified. So ask that question. Don't automatically disqualify yourself because maybe you don't actually need a bachelor's degree. I didn't. Real quick, and we could do a million more examples, but when you describe specifically under the basic qualifications, you are saying you have to have all these things. But what does etc. mean? Does Wireshark count as an open source tool? I mean, like, what if that's what I have? Is that going to be okay? And again, I can do this on every single bullet. I'm not going to. However, I was specifically annoyed when I looked at the job, when I looked at all the different languages listed here. So take a minute and look at them. C, C++, Python, Perl, assembly, PowerShell. Okay, hold on. What about Objective-C? I don't see it listed here. Does it count? So you're listing scripting languages. You're listing some object-oriented languages. You're talking about some low-level languages. I've scripted. I've never created executable code from scratch. So there's a lot going on here. Tell me what counts. Did you lazily look for 3 different levels of experience in one job post? Because I don't know what you're looking for here. So help me understand. And again, I promised I wouldn't go through the whole thing, but when you use subjective terms like deep understanding and strong understanding and good interpersonable, cool. Those are all subjective terms. So how are you quantifying these things? How are you measuring these things? What is the skill on which you are deciding if I, in fact, have a strong understanding of this, this, and this, networks and Windows and so on and so forth. This should not be listed under basic qualifications. Shame on the person who wrote this. And again, a lot to unpack here. And all the questions that I came up with and that you could come up with when you're looking at a description like this, again, I feel like they swapped the basic quals with the desired skills in this instance. Again, a lot to unpack. So all the questions are worth asking. Make note of them. You don't have to question every single thing, but it will be good for you to notice a few things and take the opportunity when you're speaking with the hiring manager or the recruiter to try to figure out exactly what they're looking for here so that you can speak to them, so that you can speak to them through examples from stories that you can tell about your own experience, about your own work experience, and even some of the things that you've learned. So we already discussed, not having a degree may or may not be a blocker. Let's address it. When they talk about certifications and skills, this is a really good opportunity for you to ask, okay, because I've shown the ability to achieve this level of a certification or this level of a skill, what opportunities will be given to me maybe over a period of time throughout my journey with you as a company? Are you going to provide any of the training or any of the certifications? Or is there a budget, for me to learn? Recruiters are really important. You got to get through the recruiter to get through the interview. Again, I mentioned that they absolutely should be spending time with you and helping you address all of your concerns. When you get through the description, have the opportunity to describe your experience, get to the interview table. This is where you are going to get ahead of the questions that they have or the concerns that they might have when they're comparing the job description to your resume. Address them up front before they even get a chance to ask. Hey, I noticed you were looking for this. Although I don't have that, here's what I do have. Here's what I have shown with my personality, with my learning style, with my working style, with the type of person that I am, with the type of engineer that I am, and here's how I think how I can meet those quals for you or grow into those different areas. So we're doing more and more and more online. Diana is virtual. Besides Las Vegas is virtual. DEF CON is hybrid. I think that honestly, after everything we went through in 2020, that at the very least, moving forward, there will always be a hybrid option for us. And so it's going to be more and more important for engaging online, doing as much as we can in events as they open up, and doing what we're comfortable with there. When I first created this slide, COVID was much more of a thing that I do realize that we are hopefully, getting vaccinated and having more and more safe opportunities to get together. So please use the opportunities that are available within our community to be engaged and to do a lot of networking. I cannot say enough about mock interviews and resume workshops and networking specifically within our community at events. Villages are fantastic. I could talk about them all day. I won't. I've done that talk before. I can't say for certain that that Kathleen Smith, yes, it's Kathleen, invented all these things, but she sure as heck was right there at the beginning, pioneering having these things be a part of, be a regular part of. And at one point, it was a lot of different tech conferences were resistant to, and have been opening up, providing these types of solutions, mock interviews and resume workshops. They are happening here at Diana. Take the opportunity if you get a chance. If you don't get a chance, if you're not already signed up, there's always the opportunity to be networking with, notice who's working at the workshops, notice who's working, within those villages, and connect to them and take that opportunity to ask them, can you help me with my resume? It's fantastic, not just for candidates, but also for employers as well. This would be the part where, and this is pre-recorded, but that I would provide you with an opportunity to ask me questions. So hopefully we'll get to do that. I do have my DMs currently open on Twitter, and you could, in fact, hit me up on LinkedIn. Twitter is actually a little bit better for me. Whenever I will disclaim to say that if I don't have the opportunity to give you a timely response that you deserve, at the very, very least, you're going to get introduced to somebody that can and will help you. I am very thankful to Diana and to all of you that spent the time listening to this. Thank you for the opportunity. I hope it was somewhat useful for you and helps you along your path, and have a fantastic day.